The weekly Podioplex will begin after this short podcasting promotional.
Hi, this is Kevin Batchelder. And this is the Saturday B-Movie Reel.
Lisa, shoot it! Shoot it!
That about describes it, yeah.
All right, everybody stay here.
We look specifically at the Sci-Fi Channel's original movies. You know the ones that air on Saturday night.
Be known throughout the ages as an instant classic.
We need a bigger gator!
Limb cutting and blood squirting from...
Flying limbs, I called it in my notes.
What could go wrong?
We look on a regular basis at the movies as they come out, and since there have been over 200 of them, we do go back and look at many of them that are now out on DVD. By this point, I had completely forgotten any semblance of seeing if this actually makes any sense from a plot point of view. So come on by, get involved, and have some fun.
Check us out at SaturdayBMovieReel.com.
Our future depends on it. Make it safe.
Don't touch that dial. Watch this exciting scene from today's 4-part story of Underdog. Here it comes now.
Come ahead! Quiet on the set!
This is Michael Faulkner, and it's showtime at the February 21st, 2012 edition of the weekly Podioplex, brought to you by the Chronic Rift. Starting out with the box office report, this weekend's rundown kicks off with number 10 and The Grey, down 3 from 7th. In 9th is new release The Secret World of Arrietty, opening with $6.4 million. That beats Ponyo's $3.6 million debut to become the best domestic opening ever for a Studio Ghibli movie. At number 8 is The Woman in Black, down 2 from 6th. In 7th place is Chronicle, down 2 from 5th. In 6th place is Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace, down 2 from 4th. The film added $7.9 million this weekend to a total of $464.8 million overall, surpassing the original Star Wars as the top film in the franchise and 4th all-time. At 5th we have new release This Means War, debuting at $17.6 million. Compared to other romantic comedy action hybrids like Night and Day with $20.1 million, The Tourist with $16.5 million, and Killers with $15.8 million, it fared decently. Remember that the leader in this category is Mr. and Mrs. Smith with $50.3 million in opening weekend. But also factor in Chris Pine, Tom Hardy, and Reese Witherspoon versus the star power of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Actually, I'd go see that movie. At 4th place is Journey to The Mysterious Island, down 1 from 3rd with an additional $20 million. The sequel now stands at $53.2 million overall. In 3rd place is new release Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, driving into theaters with $22 million. That opening is less than half the 3-day start of the original Ghost Rider 5 years ago with $45.4 million. Aside from the fading star of Nicolas Cage, the wait between installments is being blamed for poor performance. In 2nd is The Vow, surrendering the first place position with $23.6 million to bring the movie to $85.5 million, and narrowly edging out The Vow in 1st place this weekend is Safe House, up 1 from 2nd. Safe House took an additional $24 million for a new total of $78.3 million. Closing out our box office report, let's take a look at what was winning in the box office in years gone by. 5 years ago, in 2007, Ghost Rider was still number 1 with $20.1 million. 10 years ago, in 2002, Queen of the Damned took the number 1 spot with $14.8 million. 20 years ago, in 1992, it was Wayne's World with $11.8 million. 30 years ago, in 1982, On Golden Pond reclaimed the number 1 spot with $5.6 million. That feat was accomplished after 13 weeks in release. And 40 years ago, in 1972, Cabaret was still number 1 with $4.9 million. What does the week of February 24th bring to moviegoers to knock Denzel Washington and Ryan Reynolds from their safe house? We start with Wanderlust, a comedy starring Jennifer Aniston, Paul Rudd, and Malin Ackerman.
You ready for your meeting?
Yep.
Knock him dead, all right? I'll call you later.
You know what I want to do? I want to take off that robe and...
Why are you not at work, George?
Oh, I forgot fired.
As soon as we can get back on our feet, we'll come back to New York. But right now, my brother's offering me a job, and Atlanta's the best place for us to be.
Ah!
Hey, there he is, my home
homeless brother, where's your cardboard box? And Linda, oh my God. Your body is redonkulous.
Rick, I think you're making everybody uncomfortable.
Oh, everybody knows what I mean. Here you go, simple data entry.
You want me to enter this data?
Are you questioning me? Don't question me.
Are you serious?
Am I serious? You're fired. You're rehired. Consider that a warning shot.
Let's get the hell out of here.
All right, I can't be in this car anymore.
Elysium bed and breakfast.
You looking for the B&B? There's another half mile. You can't miss it.
Leave? Yeah.
No.
Oh my God, it's coming out! He wants to make a suit out of our skin.
You guys okay? We'll take care of you. My name's Wayne, by the way. I'm a nudist.
Oh, yes, we noticed your penis earlier.
Touche!
All these people live here. This is a commune.
We prefer intentional community. We're not a bunch of hippies sitting around playing guitar.
Wrap your fingers around the base of it, work the shaft down to the tip, and then flick the tip.
What?
Flick the tip, flick the tip.
Welcome to the Elysium community.
It's not like we're signing a lease. We'll give it a month.
2 weeks.
Oh, George, I like you.
I like you too, Eva.
We should make love sometime. How'd you and Linda feel about that?
This place is incredible.
I actually feel like I'm a part of something that's real.
What is this?
Ayahuasca tea.
Reeks like a cat butt.
It has hallucinogenic properties.
I can fly!
You can't fly.
I believe I can fly!
If you're gonna get literal with an R. Kelly song, let the dude trapped in the closet.
Wanderlust.
So, I'm light on your bio. You know, man, is it cool if maybe we talk about this later?
Take your time.
Rattled by sudden unemployment, a Manhattan couple surveys alternative living options, ultimately deciding to experiment with living on a rural commune where free love rules. Wanderlust is rated R. Next on our list is Good Deeds, a comedic drama starring Tyler Perry, Gabrielle Union, and Thandie Newton.
My name is Wesley Deeds III. I grew up fifth-generation Ivy League graduate, groomed by my father to be a businessman, to take over his company, groomed by my mother to be a gentleman. I was told where to stand and how to dress.
What would you like for breakfast? Egg whites and oatmeal.
Egg whites and oatmeal, and what I would be doing for the rest of my life. My life is perfect.
No, you're in my parking spot.
I'll just be 1 second.
This woman left her child in the car.
I don't talk to strangers.
I can literally set my watch by Wesley. He always does the same thing, and he's always gonna do the same thing.
Where did you go, baby?
No. I want to talk to you for just a second. What kind of mother would leave her kid in the closet?
We're just going through a rough time right now.
Surely someone in your family who can be a caregiver to this
No,
child.
we don't have family.
We live in the real world.
And I don't?
No, you do not. Tell me how much the gallon of milk costs. You don't even know.
You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard.
It's one of our corporate apartments. You can just live here as long as you need to.
This business wasn't even your dream.
You spend all this time making other people happy. You need to go and find what makes you really happy, because you have a good heart.
It's about me living for the first time in my life.
I'm so proud of you.
When it all comes down to it, life isn't about how much we get. It's about how much we share.
Good Deeds.
Businessman Wesley Deeds is jolted out of his scripted life when he meets Lindsay, a single mother who works on a cleaning crew in his office building. Good Deeds is rated PG-13. Next on our list is Gone, a dramatic thriller starring Amanda Seyfried, Jennifer Carpenter, and Wes Bentley.
Hey, sis. We need to know about dinner Sunday night.
All right.
Please, it's one stupid dinner. Okay. Okay, I'll do it. I'll go to dinner with you guys.
Yay!
Wake me up when you get home, okay? All right, sweet dreams. Molly? Rise and shine. Oh my God. Molly!
Miss Conway, what makes you think your sister's been abducted?
This guy came back for me. He broke into my house, took my sister because I wasn't there.
Why would he come back for you?
I'm the only one that got away because I know his secret.
Last year, a hiker spots Jill covered in mud, screaming about how some guy snatched her out of bed, threw her down a hole out in the woods someplace. She said she wasn't the only one, that there were human remains down there. Of course, we throw everything at it. Guess what? Nothing.
He doesn't exist.
He's gonna kill Molly tonight.
Jill, it's all in your head. Go home and get some sleep.
I'll sleep when he's dead. I need some information. A crime was committed.
What kind of crime?
I just wanted to know if you saw anything unusual.
Hey, what the hell are you doing?
Stay back!
We got a crazy woman out there waving a gun. If she drops someone, it's on us.
Attempt to look at Jillian Tyler Conway. 5'4", blue and blonde, should be considered armed and dangerous.
We lost her.
It's gonna get dark soon, and Molly is gonna be dead, buried at the bottom of some hole, along with all these other girls that nobody's looking for.
So what if Jill isn't crazy? What if this guy really does have Molly?
Shut her hands!
Who's this?
You know who I am. And I know who you are.
When her sister disappears, Jill is convinced the serial killer who kidnapped her 2 years ago has returned, and she sets out once again to face her abductor. Gone is rated PG-13. And last on our wide-release slate is Act of Valor, an action thriller starring Alex Vidov, Rosalind Sanchez, and Nestor Serrano.
Be safe.
You know I will.
On February 24th,
I'm not afraid.
we all have something
Take a stand.
worth fighting for.
Everybody, come take my hand. Come take my hand. We'll walk this road together through the storm. Hang on, buddy. Cold the warm. Just letting you know that you're not alone. I'll if you feel like you've been down the same road.
Act of Valor. Rated R. February 24th.
An elite team of Navy SEALs embark on a covert mission to recover a kidnapped CIA agent. The roles of the SEALs in this movie are performed by actual active-duty Navy SEALs. Act of Valor is rated R. In limited release, we begin with The Forgiveness of Blood, an Albanian drama film starring Tristan Halalai, Sidney Lacey, and Rifat Abazi. An Albanian family is torn apart by murder, resulting in a blood feud that finds Nick becoming the prime target, and his sister Rudina forced to leave school in order to take over the family business. The Forgiveness of Blood is not rated. Next on the limited slate is The Ferry, a comedic drama starring Dominique Abel, Fiona Gordon, and Bruno Rummy. A hotel clerk searches all over Le Havre for the ferry who made 2 of his 3 wishes come true before disappearing. The Ferry is not rated and opens in New York City. And last on our list is Tomorrow When the War Began, an action-adventure film from 2010 starring Caitlin Stasey, Rachel Hurd Wood, and Lincoln Lewis. When their country is invaded and their families are taken, 8 unlikely high school teenagers band together to fight. Tomorrow When the War Began is not rated. Next up, we take a look at the home entertainment slate for February 21st, beginning with Puss in Boots.
Fear me if you dare.
An animated comedy starring Antonio Banderas, Salma Hayek, and Zach Galifianakis. This is the story about the events leading up to the sword-fighting cat's meeting with Shrek and his friends. Puss in Boots is rated PG. Next up, we have The Way, a drama starring Martin Sheen, Emilio Estevez, and Deborah Kara Unger. A father heads overseas to recover the body of his estranged son, who died while traveling the El Camino de Santiago, and decides to take the pilgrimage himself. The Way is rated PG-13. Next up is J. Edgar, a biographical drama starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Armie Hammer, and Naomi Watts. As the face of law enforcement in America for almost 50 years, J. Edgar Hoover was feared and admired, reviled and revered, but behind closed doors he held secrets that would have destroyed his image, his career, and his life. J. Edgar is rated R. Next is Tower Heist, a crime comedy starring Eddie Murphy, Ben Stiller, and Casey Affleck. When a group of hardworking guys find out they've fallen victim to a wealthy businessman's Ponzi scheme, they conspire to rob his high-rise residence. Tower Heist is rated PG-13. Next, we have The Mighty Max, a sports drama starring Carla Gugino, David Boreanaz, and Marley Shelton. In the early 70s, Kathy Rush becomes a head basketball coach at a tiny all-girls Catholic college. Though her team has no gym and no uniforms, and the school itself is in danger of being sold, Coach Rush looks to steer her girls to their first national championship. The Mighty Max is rated G. Next on our release list is Martha Macy May Marlene, a dramatic thriller starring Elizabeth Olsen, Sarah Paulson, and John Hawkes. Haunted by painful memories and increasing paranoia, a damaged woman struggles to reassimilate with her family after fleeing an abusive cult. Martha Marcy May Marlene is rated R. Next up, we have London Boulevard, a crime drama starring Colin Farrell, Keira Knightley, and Ray Winstone. An ex-con hired to look after a reclusive young actress finds himself falling in love, which puts him in direct confrontation with one of London's most vicious gangsters. London Boulevard is rated R. Next on the list is Retreat, a thriller starring Cillian Murphy, Jamie Bell, and Thandie Newton. Kate and Martin escape from personal tragedy to an island retreat. Cut off from the outside world, their attempts to recover are shattered when a man is washed ashore with news of airborne killer diseases sweeping through Europe. Retreat is rated R. And last on the new release slate is The Son of No One, a crime drama starring Channing Tatum, Al Pacino, and Juliette Binoche. A young cop is assigned to a precinct in the working-class neighborhood where he grew up, and an old seeker threatens to destroy his life and his family. The Son of No One is rated R. Moving right along to TV on DVD, we kick things off with Weeds Season 7, starring Mary Louise Parker and Elizabeth Perkins. New York, new high. After serving 3 years in the joint, the one-time suburban soccer mom is making a fresh start in New York City and going back to doing what she does best, selling pot. But when some old friends return, they could send everything up in flames. Next up, we have Nurse Jackie Season 3, starring Edie Falco and Peter Facinelli. Still high and mighty. The Showtime hit series Nurse Jackie ended Season 2 with the ugly truth closing in on super nurse Jackie Payton. Jackie's best friend and husband put the pieces together about her pill-popping ways and confront her about her addiction. But if the people in her life think one little intervention is going to stop her, they don't know Jackie. Next on our list is Hazel, the complete second season, starring Shirley Booth and Bobby Buntrock. Oscar and Emmy Award winner Shirley Booth returns as Hazel, the sassy and energetic live-in maid who runs her employer's household with a little havoc, a lot of style, and a lot more laughter. Based on the original cartoons in the Saturday Evening Post, Season 2 finds Hazel mixing it up at a bowling tournament, looking for a missing mailman, joining a protest against a developer, and contemplating a marriage proposal from an old flame. Next is Matlock, the 7th season, starring Bryn Thayer and Andy Griffith. It takes a legend to play one. Andy Griffith brings his special brand of charm to the role of Ben Matlock, prominent defense attorney. In Matlock, the 7th season, we see Ben reopening a 30-year-old murder case, representing a ghost and learning to work with his daughter and new partner, Leanne. This year, his trusted colleague Conrad McMasters is joined by recent law school graduate Cliff Lewis, and using his street-savvy tactics and down-home instincts, Matlock always knows how to captivate a jury and generations of audiences. Next up is Young Justice, Season 1, Volume 3, starring Jesse McCartney and Carrie Payton. In this DC Comics animated series, teenage superheroes strive to prove themselves as members of the Justice League. This release is the third part of the first season. Next on our TV releases, we have Underdog, the complete series, starring Wally Cox and Norma McMillan. When the city is in trouble, humble and lovable Shoeshine Boy turns into his alter ego Underdog to stop a series of villains, including the evil Simon Bar Sinister and Riff Raff. And when TV reporter Sweet Polly Purebred finds herself in danger, no one but Underdog can save the day. Now you can enjoy the 1960s cartoon canine superhero in this complete collection that includes all 3 seasons of the classic series. Each of the 9 discs features Underdog's greatest adventures, along with all the original shorts from Go Go Gophers, Klondike Cat, and Commander McBragg.
Where on earth is Carmen Sandiego?
The next release asks, where on earth is Carmen Sandiego? The complete series. Starring Rita Moreno and Jennifer Hale. The world's greatest thief is on the loose, and it's up to you to find her. The world-famous thief Carmen Sandiego plays an intricate game of cat and mouse with teen Acme detectives Zack and Ivy. Based on the award-winning line of educational computer games, this energizing series is rich in both excitement and education, as Carmen Sandiego attempts to steal the most valuable objects in the world. It's up to our detectives and the audience to figure out where in the world she is. Filled with unique characters, wonderful storylines, and humor, this Emmy Award-winning animated series educates kids of all ages in the subjects of history, geography, and fun through its action-packed adventures. Now all 40 episodes of this edutainment series are available for the first time on DVD. Next on our list is Archie's Weird Mysteries, the complete series, starring Ben Beck, John Michael Lee, and Jerry Long. Things are getting weird in Riverdale, home of the All-American boy and high school newspaper reporter Archie Andrews. Ever since an experiment in the high school physics lab went awry, Riverdale has become a magnet for the stuff of which B-movies are made. A swamp creature has taken up residence in the old swimming hole. Frankenstein's monster is hanging out on Lover's Lane. Mad scientists, werewolves, vampires, giant ants, UFOs, and zombies are invading Riverdale. It's thrills, chills, and a whole lot of laughs. Join Archie and his pals Beautiful Betty, Sexy Veronica, Devious Reggie, and Eccentric Jughead as they do their best to unravel Archie's weird mysteries. Next up is The Fades Season 1, starring Lily Lovelace, Daniel Kaluuya, and Ian De Castecker. A teenage boy named Paul is haunted by apocalyptic dreams that nobody can explain. As if that weren't terrifying enough, he begins to see spirits of the dead, known as the Fades, all around him. The Fades can't be seen, smelt, heard, or touched by other humans. When an embittered and vengeful Fade, Paulus, finds a way to be human again, it's up to Paul to stop him, and all of the dead, from breaking back into the world and destroying the human race.
Sherlock Holmes. Bring Sherlock Holmes back to life. Back to life.
It's elementary, my dear Watson.
Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century. Sherlock Holmes in the...
Next up, we have Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd Century, the complete series, starring Michael Dodson, Jason Gray Stanford, and John Payne. In this animated series, a defrosted Holmes teams with a robotic Watson and a female Inspector Lestrade to stop the criminal rampage of Moriarty's clone. And last on our list, we have Simon & Simon Season 6, a Shout Factory exclusive, starring Gerald McCraney, Jameson Parker, and Murray Carver. Rick and AJ have their work cut out for them in Season 6 when a rival private investigation firm moves in next door and threatens to shut down Simon & Simon for good. But the boys keep their doors open for a full season of cases, including a mysterious cold case murder, a psychotic sniper, a crooked treasure hunt, and more in this box set containing all 22 original episodes that ran on CBS from 1986 to 1987. Next, we move along to Netflix streaming new releases for the week of February 19th to February 25th. February 19th is a dead day, but February 20th has one movie called Stay Cool, a comedic drama from 2009 starring Winona Ryder, Mark Polish, and Sean Austin. An author who returns to his hometown to deliver a commencement address to a class of graduating high school students has to deal with his feelings for an old flame, as well as the advances of a student who has the hots for him. Stay Cool is rated PG-13. February 21st list kicks off with Today's Special, a comedy starring Artie Mann, Dean Winters, and Kevin Corrigan. In the super feel-good foodie comedy, young Manhattan chef Samir rediscovers his heritage and his passion for life through the enchanting art of cooking Indian food. Today's Special is rated R. Next on our list is Repeaters, a crime drama from 2010 starring Dustin Milligan, Amanda Crew, and Richard DeClercq. Repeaters is a gritty, mind-bending thriller about three 20-somethings who find themselves in an impossible time labyrinth, where each day they awaken to the same terrifying day as the preceding one. Repeaters is not rated. Next up, we have Blank City, a documentary from 2010 starring Amos Poe, Ann Magnuson, and Becky Johnston. During the punk rock stage in the late 70s, downtown New York experienced a wave of do-it-yourself independent filmmaking. This documentary explores that wave. Blank City is unrated. Next up is Reunion, a drama from 2009 starring Derek Cecil, Sam Coppola, and Brett Cullen. A group of friends unites on the 10-year anniversary of the death of a friend and member of their secret society from college. Reunion is not rated. Next up, we have The Little Death, a drama from 2010 starring Cynthia Barrett, Jerry Lynn Bedingfield, and Bruce Bennett. In the early 1910s, a social reformer seeks to free a young woman from the clutches of a brothel owner. Meanwhile, a nervous man engages the woman's services and discovers that his passions run horrifyingly deep. The Little Death is not rated. And last, on February 21st, we have Being Elmo, A Puppeteer's Journey, a documentary from 2011 starring Kevin Clash, Whoopi Goldberg, and Frank Oz. The Muppet Elmo is one of the most beloved characters among children across the globe. Meet the unlikely man behind the puppet, the heart and soul of Elmo, Kevin Clash. Being Elmo, A Puppeteer's Journey is rated PG. There are no new releases for February 22nd, but February 23rd kicks off with Semper Fi, Always Faithful, a documentary from 2011 starring Jerry Ensminger and Michael Partain. Marine Corps Master Sergeant Jerry Ensminger was a devoted Marine for nearly 25 years. As a drill instructor, he lived and breathed the Corps and was responsible for indoctrinating thousands of new recruits with its motto Semper Fidelis, or Always Faithful. When Jerry's 9-year-old daughter Janie died of a rare type of leukemia, his world collapsed. As a grief-stricken father, he struggled for years to make sense of what happened. His search for answers led to the shocking discovery of a Marine Corps cover-up of one of the largest water contamination incidents in U.S. history. Semper Fi, Always Faithful follows Jerry's mission to expose the Marine Corps and force them to live up to their motto to the thousands of soldiers and their families exposed to toxic chemicals. His fight reveals a grave injustice at North Carolina's Camp Lejeune and a looming environmental crisis at military sites across the country. Semper Fi, Always Faithful is not rated. Next up is Limelight, a documentary starring 50 Cent, Jay-Z, and Moby. This documentary examines the career of New York club owner Peter Gadian, whose run-ins with the law eventually had him deported to Canada. Through Gadian, viewers are treated to a fascinating glimpse into the evolution of New York's wild nightlife. Limelight is not rated. Next up, we have The Lie, a drama from 2011 starring Joshua Leonard, Jess Wexler, and Kelly Garner. A man's life is altered unexpectedly after telling a lie to get out of work. The Lie is rated R. And last, for February 23rd, we have Happy Happy, a comedic drama starring Agnes Kittelsen, Henrik Rafaelsen, and Joachim Rafaelsen. Set in a remote Norwegian town, this black comedy centers on a cheerful housewife who is contentedly wedded to her loveless high school sweetheart, but lands in hot water when a risque encounter with her urbane new neighbor goes too far. Happy Happy is rated R. February 24th is also an empty day for Netflix, but February 25th starts with Archer Season 2, starring H. John Benjamin, Judy Greer, and Amber Nash. At ISIS, an international spy agency, global crises are merely opportunities for its highly trained employees to confuse, undermine, betray, and royally screw each other. And last on our Netflix list, we have 2012 Zombie Apocalypse, a horror film from 2011 starring Ving Rhames, Taryn Manning, and Johnny Picard. Months after a zombie plague has wiped out 90% of the American population, a small group of survivors fight their way cross-country to a rumored refuge on the island of Catalina. 2012 Zombie Apocalypse is rated R. Finally, we wrap up the new release list with Blu-rays from the past. This time we start out with Fort Apache, a western from 1948 starring John Wayne, Henry Fonda, and Shirley Temple. Fort Apache centers on the character of Owen Thursday, who sees his new posting to the desolate Fort Apache as a chance to reclaim military honor which he believes is rightfully his. Arrogant, obsessed with military form, and ultimately self-destructive, Thursday attempts to destroy the Apache chief Cochise after luring him across the border from Mexico against the advice of his subordinates. Fort Apache was rated approved by the Motion Picture Association of America in 1948. Next on our list is World on a Wire, which is coming to the Criterion Collection, a science fiction crime movie from 1973 starring Klaus Wolfswich, Barbara Valentine, and Masha Rabin. Somewhere in the future, there's a computer project called Simulacron, one of which is able to simulate a full-featured reality, when suddenly project leader Henry Vollmer dies. His successor, Dr. Fred Stiller, experiences odd phenomenon. A good friend, Gunther Laus, disappears into the middle of a conversation, and a week later, nobody has ever heard of him. There has to be an explanation for all of this. World on a Wire is not rated. And last on our list is Unforgiven, a Western from 1992 starring Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, and Morgan Freeman. Retired Old West gunslinger William Money reluctantly takes on one last job with the help of his old partner and a young man. Unforgiven is rated R. Let's wrap this up with 3 items in the Quick Flicks. I'll start out with a reminder that if you have any Stars movies you want to see on Netflix, you might want to hurry up and watch them before it's too late. Unless things have changed, or some sort of miracle comes through, when the agreement expires on February 28th, Stars will remove their content from the streaming platform in an attempt to, quote, protect the premium nature of our brand by preserving the appropriate pricing and packaging of our exclusive and highly valuable content, end quote. Stars Play included over 2,500 movies when the deal was signed in 2008, though Netflix's website currently advertises about 1,000 movies in the Stars Play section. Speaking of Netflix, despite the fact that they're more interested in streaming than in sending out DVDs by mail, they've announced that they will be bringing back the DVD-only plan. The plan is now available for the same price as a streaming-only option, and subscribers have unlimited access to the 100,000 title library. Blu-ray discs are available for an additional $2 per month surcharge. Since last year, Netflix has only allowed new customers to sign up for the Watch Instantly service, and then subscribers had to select the option of DVD only if they wanted it after account setup. This new plan just makes it easier to subscribe to DVD only from the start. And finally, the movie industry has been at war for the past few years against online pirates and the potential harm to box office returns. While not totally unreasonable, new research suggests that such fears may not be as severe as the industry thought. Researchers at Wellesley College and the University of Minnesota examined the U.S. box office receipts before and after the introduction of BitTorrent in 2003, and they found no evidence that piracy displaced domestic sales. The research suggests that American movie fans still love going to the theater as much as they ever did, and that those who pirate may never have gone to the theater anyway. Now, these results don't translate well overseas. Foreign box office returns were found to be 7% lower after BitTorrent's adoption, with declines in the box office correlating with international release lags. Simply put, the longer the period between a film's U.S. release and its release in a given country, the more likely residents of that country were to illegally download the picture instead of buying a ticket when it eventually hit their local Cineplex. It goes without saying that the Weekly Podioplex and the Chronic Grift do not condone such behavior. If you want to discuss anything you heard on this week's edition, please take a moment to get in touch. You can surf on over to chronicgrift.com and leave a note in the forums. You can leave a voicemail at 888-866-9010, or you can write to John at chronicgrift.com. You can follow us on Tumblr, tweet us on Twitter, check in the network on GetGlue, watch the classics on Funny or Die, and you can leave us a review on iTunes. The Chronic Grift is also available on Stitcher Radio, and you can also find the Weekly Podioplex and the Chronic Grift on Facebook and Google+. If you decide to pick up any of this week's new releases, why not do it through our Amazon store? You get the newest entertainment at Amazon's low prices and high-quality service, and each purchase you make to the store supports the Chronic Grift. Look for the link in our show notes. The Weekly Podioplex is a Lucky Shot production and is produced by John S. Drew. This is Michael Faulkner. Thanks for listening. I'll see you at the theater.
No need to fear. Underdog is here.
Time again for the Underdog Show, starring that champion of champions, Underdog. of the city's most humble and lovable characters was Shoeshine Boy.
All finished, sir.
Thanks, Shoeshine Boy. You're humble and lovable.
Bless you, sir.
Little did anyone know that whenever there was a call for help,
Help! Help! Help!
Shoeshine Boy became, in real life, Underdog.
That's a wrap.